Now, in a move that I find personally baffling, the government-sponsored enterprises have already completed 60,000 foreclosure prevention actions in 2023 alone. Or to put it my way, they kept 60,000 people in homes that don't make payments in favor of 60,000 aspiring new homeowners that would in fact make their payments.
16% of home modifications in Q1 were modifications with principal forbearance. 35% of loan modifications completed in Q1 reduced borrowers' monthly payments by more than 20%. The number of refinances decreased amid rising mortgage rates from 111,251 in the fourth quarter of 2022 to 78,445 in the first quarter of 2023.
If ever there was proof that we need all new elected officials, this is certainly it. Because, my friends, if insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome, as Einstein once said, then what would doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a decidedly worse outcome be? Because that's what we're doing right now in housing. Let me show you a graph that will illuminate this.
This is a graph of the FHFA's foreclosure prevention actions that date back to the beginning of 2008. Now, I want you to take note of the 2008 housing crisis bubble that devastated housing.
Yep, that's on the left-hand side of the graph. Now, there were listings, everywhere, as home foreclosures abound. And what this did was it brought values down to what turned out to be actually historic norms.
Now, pan your eyes to the right. And well, look how much bigger the current hill is versus 2008. So why not all the foreclosures and why not property values coming down?
That's what your elected officials should be asking themselves right now. But it's pretty simple when you look at it on this graph. It's because of all the shades of blue. Look at all three shades of blue. They stand for repayment plans, forbearance plans, and payment deferral plans. They all are options the government has taken to let homeowners not make their legally obligated house payment. Now, do you see how that was not the case in 2008? So the difference is now we have massive national plans to keep people in homes without making their house payments. And those foreclosures that brought values down before have never and will never appear this time. In 2008, we held more people accountable and we had those foreclosures.
Those foreclosures, by the way, are represented by the red color on the top of this graph. Note how foreclosures all but completely stopped at the same time our forbearance programs took hold. So what's the moral to the story? Well, it's simple, really.
Well, the real moral to the story, Joanna, right now is the property home value epidemic that we find ourselves in, where nobody can buy a house right now, is completely government manufactured. This was by design, my friends. You can see it just from this graph. Listen, if you want to bring values down, curb inflation, increase our city's tax coffers, see an overall improvement to our communities, all you have to do is kick out the people who are not making their house payments on the houses that they're living in. It worked in 2008. We know it did. We have a track record, and it will work now. Lose these forbearance plans. They're not helping anybody. So I believe on tomorrow's show, or maybe on a Facebook Live, we're going to be talking about the Mortgage Bankers Association Mortgage Credit Availability Index. It's basically how much lenders are lending right now and how tight or loose their underwriting guidelines are. Suffice it to say, things are tighter now than they've been in a long, long time for a whole bunch of reasons, and I've got great analytics on it. Kind of goes something like this. If you're thinking about getting a mortgage loan right now, you better all but walk on water when it comes to what your credit looks like and what your mortgage profile looks like. And it really makes me think, where would this industry be if we didn't have non-QM? It's just amazing. The truth of the matter is we need to loosen up our underwriting guidelines in a big way because we are way too exclusionary. You see, a healthy housing market has a certain level of foreclosure activity that is acceptable. We've talked about this ad nauseum. That lets you know you're pushing the boundary of being more inclusionary with your underwriting standards. We have no foreclosures in this country anymore. Though that sounds good and we want to applaud it, what it tells us is most people who want a mortgage are just dreaming. So not only do we need more non-QM, we need subprime in a big way. But again, more on that tomorrow. I will tell you this though, Oaktree, who is fantastic with their non-QM products, they just brought 3 new products online. This is to help you and your clients out. They're going to train you up on this on the 11th of July at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you check this out as a lender or realtor. Click the banner down below.